Hey everyone, I'm Jared Dink, and today I'll be doing my reading for a prose fiction performance, which included a narrator and another character in the performance as well. So today I'll be doing an excerpt from the second chapter of Oliver Twist, and here's how it goes. The room in which the boys were fed was a large stone hall with a copper at one end, out of which the master, dressed in an apron for the purpose and assisted by one or two women, ladled the gruel at mealtimes. Of this festive composition, each boy had one porringer and no more, except on occasions of this great feast with rejoicing. They maybe had 2 ounces and a quarter of bread besides. The bowls were never wanted washing. The boys always polished them with their spoons until they shone again. And when they performed this operation, which never took very long, the spoons nearly needed as much as the spoons were as large as the bowls. They could sit down staring at the copper, their eyes very eager, as if they could have devoured the very bricks of which what they consumed, employing themselves meanwhile in sucking their fingers most assiduously, with the view of catching up on any stray splashes of the gruel that might have been cast thereon. Boys have generally excellent appetites. Oliver Twist and his companions suffered the tortures of slow starvation for 3 months. At last they got so voracious and wild with hunger that one boy, who was tall for his age, hadn't been used that much for sort of things, or his father had kept a small cook shop, hinted darkly to his companions that unless he had another basin of gruel per meal, he was afraid he might have something happen to him, or he might eat the boy who slept next to him, who happened to be a weakly young youth boy of tender age. He had a wild, hungry eye, and the implicity of everyone who believed him. A council was held there, and lots were cast as to who should walk up to the master after supper that evening and ask for more. And that day it fell to Oliver Twist. Then the evening arrived, the boys took their place, the master in his cook's uniform stationed himself by the copper, his pauper assistants ranged themselves behind him, and the gruel was served out, and a long grace was said over the short commons. The gruel disappeared, the boys whispered each other and winked at Oliver, while his next neighbors nudged him. As a child as he was desperate with hunger and reckless with misery. He rose from the table, advancing to the master basin with spoon in hand, and somewhat alarmed at what his own temerity said, "Please, sir, I want some more." The master was a fat, healthy man, and he turned very pale as he gazed in stupefied astonishment on the small rebel for some seconds, and then clung to support from the copper. Assistants were paralyzed with wonder, the boys paralyzed with fear. "What?" the master said at length with a faint voice. "Please, sir," replied Oliver, "I want some more." The master aimed a blow at Oliver's head with a ladle, pinioning him in his arms and shrieking aloud over the beetle. The board were sitting in solemn as a conclave when Mr. Bumble rushed into the room with great excitement and addressing, as the gentleman rushed into the high chair. He says, "Mr. Limpkins, I beg your pardon. Oliver Twist has asked for more." And that'll do it for this reading of the second chapter of Oliver Twist. I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation as much as I enjoyed giving it, and I hope to see you in the next video. God bless.